This is Matthew with Another World Terraria, where I teach and inspire you on the topics of rare plants and artistic nature displays. In today's video, I'm going to show you what I got from BucePlant, and then we're going to step it up a notch and create a grow bin for the plants. Alright, I'm going to spare you the unboxing and unpackaging, and we'll just get right into the first plant. This is a tissue culture of Juncus repens, which is a type of rush. It's a grass-like plant, relatively small, and good for wabi-kusa and things like that. And it's really cool because it grows these stems that come out, and then it grows new plants on the end of it, and it just keeps spreading. Super excited about this plant. I've been wanting it for a while. This is Aroids caulescens. It goes by the name sabertooth. This is a rheophytic plant, which means that it grows in fast-flowing water, like in streams and waterfalls and so forth, and that's why it has these narrow, rigid leaves and stems that are very hydrodynamic and allow the water to flow over them without causing stress to the plant. They've adapted to that kind of thing. They have a good rhizome with strong roots that can attach to rocks and so forth. Here's another aroid. This is homalomena species Secadao South. This is my first homalomena, and I'm really excited about it, and this is a beautiful specimen. This will be good for wabi-kusa, terrariums, all kinds of stuff. Oh man, this is a real beauty. This is a filmy fern. It is Trichomonas javanicum, sometimes called Borneo fern. Those of you that are aquarists would probably remember it was sold in plastic tubes in like Petco stores as aquafern. Anyway, it's not a true aquatic. It can grow underwater for short periods of time. Like in the wild, it would be flooded in rainy season and things like that. But it is more of a terrestrial plant that just prefers extremely high humidity. So as I said, it is a filmy fern. You can see the classic frond spore-bearing little things that come off the frond there. They're like little bristles on the edge of the pinna, and that is really cool looking. And it is a sort of translucent fronds, hence the filmy moniker, which is because they're, you know, only like one cell thick on the foliage. But these need to be extremely humid, can't dry out at all, so I'll miss these a lot and grow them like I do my other filmy ferns in completely sealed bins with no air movement and no ventilation. Let's take this unboxing video to the next level and plant some of these aroids. Here I've got my Sterilite gasket box, which is my preferred container for growing plants in plastic bins. Now I'm going to dump in some Fluvol stratum, which is one of my favorite substrates for growing immersed plants, like Buce and other aquatic and amphibious type of plants. I'm just going to put in about a ½ inch. Before I plant these plants, I'm going to clean them up. Some of these have some rotting roots and rhizome and various things on it, so I'm gonna rinse that off. You don't want anything rotting and decaying because that will cause mold to grow, and you don't want mold in your bins or your terrariums. So I'm just gonna remove these old rotted roots. See, now these plants are much cleaner. I broke the rhizome apart on purpose so that I could get in between the roots because there was too much decaying matter, and it doesn't hurt to have two separate plants anyway. So now these are all cleaned up, looking good, and we've got all this decaying junk that we're going to throw away, and then we're going to clean up the homalomena plant. Alright, homalomena, we're going to pull away all this rock wool and clean off the roots. After pulling away the majority of the rock wool, and then I put it in the water here, and then I used tweezers to very carefully separate the rest of the rock wool and any other stuff like this decaying piece of rhizome and so forth. Alright, now these guys are cleaned up and ready to go, and then we'll dump all this stuff. Okay, let's plant these things. So I've got the homalomena and the aroids. And I'm going to be putting some other Bucephalandra in here that I have growing in some other containers, smaller, and I want to give them some more room to grow, so I'm going to end up putting them in here. I'm just kind of positioning these. I'm piling the fluval stratum up because the roots are a bit deeper on these. These guys I'm not going to need to plant as deep because they have much less roots. They're smaller, shorter plants, and I'm going to be putting lava rock, so I'm not going to have these covered by that. Now I've got some other Bucephalandra too. Got a couple of my favorite ones. These are really nice with the undulate leaf edges, long, elongated leaves, beautiful color. These aren't looking super nice right now. They definitely have the potential to look much better. I may just put one of these in here and then put one other Buce in here, which I'll show you in a minute. So I'm just going to position this. Check out this stunning beauty right here. Look at that Buce. That's a nice one. Love the shape of the foliage, the undulate leaf edges, colors, everything. Really nice plant. So let's stick this in here. Give all these things some space to grow. I'm going to take some of the fluval stratum from the smaller container that these Buce were growing in, and I'm going to mix it in here because it has some springtails in it, it has some moss and liverwort in it, and probably some beneficial bacteria and various things, fungi and so forth. Giving these plants a mist with some distilled water to keep the humidity up so the leaves don't dry out. Now I've got my lava rock here, and I'm going to pour that in, and I've got it in my little custom-made flexible funnel that I made out of a deli container. So I can just hold these plants in place while I pour some of this lava rock around the bases. Rotate this around, and then we'll just keep going. Just gonna put this lava rock down first, just shallow, and then I'm just gonna take these rhizomes on the Aridarum and just stick them just into the lava rock so that they're standing up and the roots go down a little bit. This one I'll go a little deeper because there's more root. Just poke a hole in there and stick it in there like that. And then put some lava rock over it to hold it so it stands up. Make a few final adjustments and get the lava rock off of the plants here that fell in between the leaves. Now I've got my trusty Osmocote Plus fertilizer, which I use for pretty much almost all of my plants, and I just put some in the cap, grab my tweezers, and then I just insert some of these down by the roots of the plants underneath the substrate. And if you want to learn more about all of this stuff and what I'm doing in this particular video, I do have an entire very detailed series about how to grow Bucephalandra Emersed. I have a playlist I'll link up, and then you can learn a lot more about like Buce and these type of plants, and then you can understand all of the stuff I'm doing, and I go through it in detail there. Now I'm going to take some distilled water and I'm going to pour it in here so that there's just some water in the bottom of the bin so that it keeps it nice and humid, keeps the roots wet, and keeps these plants happy. That's probably good. The water level is just below the surface of the lava rock in the shallowest areas. That's all we need to do. We can go ahead and throw the lid on and put this baby on the plant rack.